Hey everyone, Kyle once again, and welcome back to another movie review. And which to me, which I kind of surprised myself that I find myself liking this film, considering the fact that I disliked the first two films. So I kind of even surprised myself, honestly, because yeah, you could say I was looking to hate on this film, because I did not like the first two films, but you know what? To my own surprise, I actually enjoyed this film, really enough, and that is of Creed 3. Creed 3. Like I said, I surprised myself with this film. Like, what? That's the thing, because I always want to be surprised by a film, right? I always want to be proven wrong. If I look at a hate on it, if that actually a surprise, I like it. The thing is, World War Z back in 2013, I thought I was not gonna like the film. I actually enjoyed World War Z with Brad Pitt. Another one back in 2013 called Pain and Gain. Wow, a Michael Bay film that I actually liked. For that, if it was quiet that sometime. Which I was not really big on. I'm also not big on Mark Wahlberg though, but I actually surprised I liked Pain and Gain. The Child's Play remake from 2019. Another horror remake. But I actually surprisingly I liked the 2019 Child's Play remake. I was surprised by it. People may not like it though, but to me, I'm one of the handful of people that likes the 2019 Child's Play remake. It wasn't a carbon copy. It was different. It did differently. So you have to say, I always want to be surprised by a movie. That's the point we go into movies. You think you don't like it, or go an open mind or closed minded, and you're actually surprised to like a film. I was indifferent on this one because I don't like the first two Creed films. The first Creed film, to me, was just a rip-off of the first movie, except it's with Creed's son. And the thing is, though, he has, he's cocky, he has daddy issues, and Stallone, as Rocky, he was a sick old Rocky. Yeah, he's old, you can get it, though, but, just him, a lot of times it's him sick, puking up blood, Creed 2, it was just a rip-off of Rocky 4. Oh, it's Drago, it's his son. I'll just stick to watching the original Rocky 4. But this, I don't know what it is, because maybe that Michael B. Jordan actually directed this film. This was his directorial debut, and Michael B. Jordan, once again playing as Adonis Creed, he did a good job in this film. He did a good job with directing the film, and I think he made it. The thing is, he developed more of his character as more of a likable person. I think that's what made the film work for me, because he made Adonis Creed more likable. Like, when he's playing with his daughter, he's being more of a dad. He's playing with his daughter, having fun with his daughter. The thing is, his daughter is deaf though, so he's doing the sign language, right? Or he's playing with his daughter, dressing up, tea party and all that stuff, but he's having fun with his kid, right? Good, This makes him more of a likable character. He's now being a likable dad, playing with his kid, and being more likable to Tessa Thompson, known for playing the Valkyrie from the MCU, right? Now be more of a loving husband, and that's one of the things that made the film work for me, because Michael B. Jordan made Adonis more of a likable character, and the story was much more interesting than what I saw from the previous two Creed films. Because in this, okay, but with the more of the positives I want to get into, though, Michael B. Jordan, I think he did a good job directing wise. He made his character more likable, and the story was more interesting than the previous movies. Although one issue I have with a nitpick I have with the film is that I'm not really big on the score by the film, especially the rap music that was during the whole montage, right? I like the montage. I think it was well edited though, but I'm not overall big on rap. Yes, there is a couple of rap songs I do like. I do only a couple rap songs I like, but doesn't mean I'm a big rap song fan. I'm not. I only like only a couple. One of them, I said before, one of them is "Gangsta's Paradise" by Coolio. Rest in peace, Coolio. That's one of them though. But overall, I'm not a big rap person. But I just think it's, yeah, I get it. You don't want to have the Rocky Balboa theme playing. I get that. Different montage, right? Different person, right? But I'm just not big on the most of the songs, the rap songs that was played in this movie. That's just me though. But I thought that, also the villain, which I would say he's not a villain, but you can see the antagonist though, but Jonathan Majors as Damien. I always complain about, especially in the Marvel movies now, they always try to make the villain sympathetic, right? They do that a lot with the Marvel, especially the Marvel films nowadays. Except for Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, which, surprisingly enough, they made the High Evolutionary a very unsympathetic villain, which good, because that's what a villain is supposed to be. He's supposed to be an unsympathetic villain, which that's one of the reasons why Chukwudi Iwuji did a good job as the High Evolutionary. A very unlikable villain that you just want to hate, right? But, thing is, though, I think what Michael B. Jordan did, including also with this, because also gotta hand it to the writers of the film as well, and the story too, the people who made the story, including Ryan Coogler, who directed the previous the Creed films, and he also directed the Black Panther films, which I'm not a fan of either. But I guess he's handling the story, and also I guess his brother, Keenan Coogler, and also Zach Balin, who also did the story. And I thought they did the story well, and I thought it was well written, well too. But also Michael B. Jordan's directing as well. This is how you make a villain sympathetic done the right way. For me, in my opinion, this is how you do a villain. You want to make a villain sympathetic. This is how you do it the right way. I think Jonathan Majors' character is Damien. I felt sorry for. I totally understand where he's coming from. It's like these two, they're on the different sides of the coin, basically. And yes, and I think Jonathan Majors did a good job. I liked him as Kane. I'm one of the few people that can defend him as Kane the Conqueror. And as much as, Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania, I don't like the film, but I keep on saying his performance as Kane the Conqueror was the best part of the film. Because I liked his... It's kind of like he's doing the same thing, the demeanor, his demeanor in this film, playing it cool, being calm, cool, and collective, trying to be almost like the nice guy type of way. But you can see, especially in this film, you can see in his eyes, you can see the pain of what his character has been through because of what happened, right? You can see the pain in the looks in his eyes, and it's like the same with his performance as Kane the Conqueror, playing it, nice and cool. But you can see, he has that also behind that persona. He's like, you don't want to mess with me because I'm Kane the Conqueror, basically. It's like, and you think you can defeat me? I am king. And yes, I keep on saying no, but because the whole thing he's going through, I think it's still going on with the whole allegations or lawsuits or whatever. To me, I think it's just a bunch of malarkey. I think it's just false allegations. Unless I hear otherwise, like I keep on saying, unless I hear otherwise, unless hard evidence that he's truly guilty. And plus, I think Jonathan Majors is a good actor anyway. But I just think this whole allegations, I think it's just complete a bunch of malarkey, And I think that's one. And off topic, like I said, because I think this whole thing is going on with him. I think this is the reason why now they want. I just heard recently they want to change the whole thing of the new Avengers film, the next upcoming Avengers film. From the Kang Dynasty. I think they want to change the whole thing. They want to get rid of Kang altogether, and they want to put in Doctor Doom in there. I don't know if that's true or not, though. But I'm just saying, if that is, I'm like, great. So the whole thing you're building with Kane as the next Thanos, right? The whole thing with all the variants of Kane from the credits and all the whole audience, or him building it from Loki, from the He Who Remains or Victor Timely, all that is gonna be thrown away now. All that, what's the point of building this character up and then just kind of throw it, and it's getting thrown the character away to replace by another villain? I just think because this whole thing going with Jonathan Majors is what's, to me, I think it's a bunch of bullshit personally, because I think he did a good job as Kane though, but just you're building this whole character up and basically now just throwing all this away now. So I'm like, what's the point of, even though I don't like the film, but I'm saying, what's the point of building this character up if you're just gonna throw it away for another villain to take over? I think it's because of this whole thing, this whole bullshit that's going on with outside the filming with this whole stuff. I think this was the reason why it's being interfered and being changed with, though. Maybe I'm just over exaggerating. I don't know. Now this would completely change Avengers Kang Dynasty to now what, Doctor Doom Dynasty. Yeah, I don't know. I'm just that's off top. I'm just saying that's this whole thing. These new things I'm hearing about now. Maybe I'm just over exaggerating. I don't know. But yeah, I think Jonathan Majors, I think he did a good job as Kane anyway. But here, I think he did a good job as too. Like I said, this is how you make a villain sympathetic the right way. Now, finally get into the story. Because now with Adonis Creed, he's living the good life. He's being a loving dad and husband, right? And he's living the good life. And then with the one thing that comes up now, that his childhood friend named Damien, because where they grew up together. They're the best buds. They live with, I guess, I would say it was a foster care or an orphanage, right? But there was this guy, which you see in flashbacks, spoilers, right? You see in flashbacks why this whole outcome happened, right? And which I totally understand from both sides of the characters. There was this guy by the name of Leon, which I would have beaten the shit out of too. He was abusive, right? And Adonis was beating the crap out of him, right? Well, I guess he was like 12 years old, right? And Jonathan Majors is younger, Damien, right? He was also a boxing prodigy as well. He was on the verge of being a good boxer too, right? But when I thought Adonis was beating the crap out of the guy Leon, which I would have done the same thing. Then all these guys coming in, start getting up on Adonis, and Damien pulls out a gun, he doesn't shoot anybody. He was just doing it just to scare them, right? He was doing it just to scare them. He wasn't trying to shoot nobody. But as soon as they leave, then the cops come. Adonis, he gets scared. He runs off, which is understandable, because when you're just a kid, right? In that situation, what do? You get scared, you freeze up, or you just run away, right? And that's how Damien ended up in prison. He spent the next 18 years in prison. He finally gets out. And this is where you understand his side of the story, right? Which made me felt sympathetic for the character, which made the story more interesting, better, more interesting than the previous of the previous films. And like he said, he said that when after all these years, he finally meets with Adonis. Panic like, hey, acting like they're best buds again, but you can see behind his face, you see the pain that he went through over the years back, right? And also at the same time with Adonis Creed, he's dealt with his guilt after this long period of time. He's had this guilt weighed over him for so long. So, and you also get, and also the fact that you could put an argument of why didn't he go see him in prison? Well, because the thing is, his mom, Adonis's mom, she hid the letters from him. Because thinking that he would be a bad influence on him. Which, yeah, okay, understandable. But I think he could just, wouldn't seen him in prison anyway, though. But still, his mom hid the letters. Didn't want to make him as a bad influence on him. Understandable. So like I said, there are two sides of the coin. There's two sides of the story, and you feel for both of the characters. That's what I did. So, and also you get the subplot. Also, really odd enough. Also, there's a subplot where with his mom, Adonis's mom had a stroke and she died. Yeah, you see, that's probably another nitpick. Like, do they really have to throw this in there though? But which also leads to another nitpick because yes, this is the first time in this franchise that Rocky's not in it. Which, on one side, yes, it's good that he's not in it because he doesn't appear in every single film, especially the last two Creed films. Yes, it was good enough. You don't have to have Stallone in the film. And probably the reason why he was not in the film because I think it was due to producer Irwin Winkler. I think it was like I think there was some conflict between them. That's why he didn't was not in the movie though. But at the same time though, I think being for his mom his friend's mom's funeral, I think he should have been there, and also been there for his big fight with Damien. Like I said, it's the the door swings both ways, right? It's good that he's not in it though, but at the same time, there are certain scenes that he should have been there he should have been there, like for the funeral and for his big fight with Damien, right? It's like what Mike Harrigan said in Predator 2. The door swings both ways. So yeah, that's another nitpick I have with it. It's good that he's not there, but at the same time, in certain scenes he should have been there. But I'll say so. Okay, because you don't have to have Rocky in there all the time. Yeah, but I totally understand that. So, but and then there was this fight where there's this guy named there's this other boxer named Felix, right? There was supposed to be this big fight where a guy the guy was like, I forgot, was he sick or he couldn't participate? So Adonis had to find someone else to fight with him, and he picks Damon to do it, right? So there's this fight with this guy named Felix and Damien. And also, another positive thing is the photography and the choreography of the boxing scenes. I thought that the boxing fight scenes are very well done. I thought the uses of slow motion was well edited as well. And I know that Michael B. Jordan said that there was like anime influences for the fight scenes, and the visual style as well. Okay, I could totally see that. If you're influence some anime in there, okay. Which is not a bad thing, because I'm a big fan of anime, so adding a little anime influence into there, especially to the fight scenes, visually looking and how it was well filmed, I could totally see that. And I thought they were all very well done, edited, filming wise, visual wise. All the fight scenes in this film were very well done. And then going into this fight with Damien and Felix, like Adonis sees that Damien was kind of like using some dirty tricks, like using the elbow, right, and ends up knocking Felix out. He wins, and then ultimately wanted to put in the whole grudge, you can say almost like grudge match. What do I say? That I like this film a lot better than that shitty boxing film Grudge Match with Stallone and Robert De Niro. I didn't like Grudge Match though, so this is a lot better than Grudge Match. But so that ends up it leads to their both training montages, which I was well edited. But like I said, I'm not a fan of the rap. I'm not a fan of the rap music. And Tessa Thompson as Adonis's wife, like I said, I think she did better. I think she did a much better job here. And it's like how she was like doing some recording sessions, like like with Adonis being the loving husband he is now, and it's like, oh, you want me to take off my clothes? Okay. It's the way Tessa Thompson says it, with Michael B. Jordan. It's just okay. It makes Adonis much more likable as a character as being a father and a husband. Very likable character, much more improvement than he was in the previous two movies. That's what made this another part of the reason why this film worked. It was approved on, And I think Michael B. Jordan once again did a good job directing wise with that character. And then ultimately comes to with the ultimate fight. Yeah, okay, now I remember now. The guy who was supposed to fight Felix was Ivan Drago's son. The same guy from the previous film, he comes back to play Ivan Drago's son. He was supposed to participate. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, because I remember now. I don't know, I forgot about it because Creed 2, right? But yeah, but the guy, Ivan Drago's son, he was supposed to fight Felix. Yeah. And then going back to the main event, the main fight between Damien and Adonis, and I like this visual aspect as well, which the fight really well done, well edited, visual wise, even color wise as well, color wise too. Like I said, I totally can see the anime influence in this, but the visual wise, I like the fact that as they're fighting, that you don't hear no audience, like everything is around them is completely silent. Nothing but the sound of them, but punching each other, right? Because I totally get it, right? It's a personal thing between the two of them. So it's like them fighting in the ring in this big empty arena, right? With no one around them, everything is really silent, right? No audience, everything is silent. Just the sound of them, just two of them hitting each other, which I thought was another good visual look to it. Yeah, the audience is there. But they don't hear nothing. They don't hear no audience. It's just they hear nothing but the two of them, because like I said, it's a personal thing between the two of them, which that was one of the things I liked about it. And then ultimately, by the end, when the match is done, then Michael B. Jordan, Adonis, finally lifting that burden off his shoulders, apologizing to Damien, saying, I'm so sorry, but for what happened back then. Even Damien's like, it's okay, like it's not your fault, I mean, if it was happening, if it was reversed, it would happen the same way, right? And even there was even a shot where you could say it's like a wink, right, where the two of them are on this one side of a wall. There's a wall, and the two of them are both on each side, right? It's definitely like a wink, right? Because you get it from, like I said, they're like the two sides of the coin, basically. It's like they're both in each other's shoes in a way. That's why but that's the point, though, right? So, and after all that, that's why I think that's what both the actors did a really good job with. Michael B. Jordan, I thought he did a great job directing, and he made his character more likable. Jonathan Majors, I think he also did a really good job as Damien. And what was it that was also supposed to say that well, like I said, the fight scenes are well done. Their montages, besides the rap songs, their montages of them training was also well edited. The characters are more likable, especially for Adonis. He was much more of a likable character. The story was interesting, better story wise. Like I said, I felt sorry for both these characters. I understood from both their point of views, right? Especially for Jonathan Majors, you see him, like I said, he has like that calm demeanor to him, though. But when you see in the look of his eyes, you see that just that look of pain that he had, for what he went through and for all those years, which is totally understandable. But I understand from Adonis, because he was a kid, he got scared, froze up, he was scared and he ran off. So I totally understand for both from both their sides, and and why I think why I was surprised by, yes, I went into hating this movie because I don't like the first two Creed films. I hate those two movies. Yes, I obviously went into hating this film, and guess what? I'm manning up and admitting that I was wrong on this film. That's the thing. I always want to be proven wrong, because I always want to be proven wrong on a film, whether, going close-minded or hating on the film, because 90% of films nowadays, they suck, whether it's sequels or remakes or even if it's films on their own, But especially this year has been a very shitty year, It has been. I don't think I'm not gonna have a top 10 list this year, because I may have like 6 films. I will put this on my top favorite list of this year. I don't think I'm not gonna have a top 10. I have like about 6 or so I like this year. That's how shows how bad this year has been. But you know what? Like I said, I'm owning up as that I admitted that I was wrong this film. This film proved me wrong. Because like I said, the story, the characters were much better and interesting and better story wise than the previous movies, and Michael B. Jordan made Adonis Creed a much more likable character than he has been in the last 2 films. Last 2 films, like I said, he was cocky, and he had just daddy issues all the time, And here he was much more of a likable character because he's a loving dad, playing with his kid, with his deaf daughter, much more being a loving husband. And especially he was carrying this burden on his shoulders for so long about what happened with his friend Damien. That's what made this film much more interesting story-wise and with characters. And it's good that Rocky is not in this film because they mention Rocky, yes they do, but without that though, it's basically it's a standalone sequel, It's a standalone sequel. Yeah, you mentioned Rocky, yes. And yes, there are some certain scenes that Rocky should have been there, like for his mom's funeral or his big fight, But at the same time, it's good that Rocky's on it, Yes. Like I said, it's the door swings both ways in that aspect. Sorry. Yeah, I really enjoyed this film, and it had a big opening weekend, the most opening weekend for a boxing film. And I think it made the most money for this Creed this Creed trilogy. I think it did, and it was very well received. I think it has much more. I think it's on Rotten Tomatoes. It's the highest rating in the trilogy. And Michael B. Jordan, he did a really good job with this film. He did a good job directing wise, and he did a good job as Adonis Creed. He's made his character much more of a likable character. Jonathan Majors, whether in real life, where you think of him, that's up to you. To me, as an actor wise, he did a good job as Adonis. He did a good job as Damien. This is how you do a villain sympathetic the right way, like I said. And yes, I still think he did a good job as Kang the Conqueror, I'm one of the few people that can defend that, Not the film, but the villain of Kang the Conqueror. Whether, like I said, whether there's the false allegations, whether you think it's true or not, I think it's false, although I hear otherwise. But this is the whole thing. I think it's because of this whole mess that he's going through that now they want to change the whole thing with the whole get rid of Kang and put in Doctor Doom. I'm like, then what's the point of building up from the Loki seasons and the Ant-Man Quantumania? Then what's the point of it? You're just gonna throw all that build up, throw it all away then. Like the credit with all those 3 variants of Kane, and showing the whole big audience of Kanes, all that basically now is thrown out the window now. So, I don't know. It's just this whole bullcrap thing is just whatever. I think he was still good. He was still King, and he was. I think he did a good job as Damien as well. I think Jonathan Majors is a good actor, so he did a great job as Damien and as Kane. So, and Creed 3, easily the best one of this trilogy for me. I was surprised by it. It proved me wrong. I'm owning up to that. I went in this film hating it, but guess what? I was wrong in the film, and I'm manning up to admit that. I enjoyed Creed 3. I would definitely put this in one of my top favorites this year. Yeah, I surprised myself, But there's other films I want. There are films like I went hating, and I ended up liking. Or there's other times where I went into liking the film, but I ended up hating it. Like with Die Hard 5, A Good Day to Die Hard. I wanted to like it because I liked the first 4 Die Hard films. I wanted to like the 5th film, but guess what? I hated it. And of course, there was another film that came out this year I was looking forward to. I wanted to like the film, and it being the biggest disappointing film of this year. I think I mentioned it before. I think I mentioned it, but I think people can figure out what it is. But yeah. But Creed 3, I enjoyed it. So thanks for watching. Stay tuned for another one, more movie reviews, and we'll see you next time. Later.